Hey, welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. I'm Karen. Today's reading is a love message from your person. So what does this person want you to know? How are they feeling about you? What does their higher self have to say to you? If you would like to receive more detailed information about what's coming up in your future, tap the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So in today's reading we have 3 sets of cards. Set of cards number 1 is the chocolate coins. Set of cards number 2 is the golden sparks. And set of cards number 3 is the honey. So take some time to tune into the energies of the cards. Sit back, relax, get cozy and comfortable. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. You can pause the video right now, but I'll also leave a few quiet moments here as well. Okay, so let's look into the messages that we have for you. Welcome to set of cards number 1. You've chosen the chocolate coins. So this is your person's love message to you. We're going to be pulling out some of the tarot cards, lots of message cards today, as well as pulling messages out of the bag, looking into the charms and the divination die. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, so this person is in a time of pause, or there's a pause in your connection at this time. It could be that they're in a place of going inwards with the Hermit card, or it could be you, or it could be both of you. This could be a situation where you're taking space right now. You're going inwards. You're trying to shed light on this situation. Some of you may be wondering whether you should still commit to this or whether you should walk away. And it may be because this person has been in stagnation for a long time. They haven't taken action, or this is picking up that this person has been trying to observe this connection, trying to figure things out, trying to make sense of things, or they're trying to figure out themselves what they need to heal, how to come out of their comfort zone. This person is going through a spiritual awakening. They are beginning to see the light. There's the halo of light around the hanged man's head, and of course he's hung himself upside down by the ankle on purpose in order to see things from a different perspective. So this is a sign from spirit that this person is on hold and is in a place of pause right now, but it's because there is this awakening that needs to occur. There's the light of the hermit's lantern. This person is slowly but surely following the light. They want you to know, or their higher self wants you to know, that they are letting go of any past baggage, anything that isn't serving them. And this could be the ego death. So the ego is about a collection of beliefs we have about ourselves, based on social conditioning, the conditioning of our family interactions, all things like that. Any ways in which this person isn't seeing themselves in their true light. If they have self-esteem issues, if they have wounds that need looking into and healing and releasing, that's what's going on with this person right now. Deep, profound healing, but right now it's coming across as them being distant, being in their man or their woman cave. But it's very important, and we have the Sun card as well, the light. This is the healing of the inner child. This person, they are listening to their intuition. They may have struggled with that in the past. That may have been what this long pause was. You know, what's real. They're trying to figure out whether what's in their mind is real or in their heart. Logic versus intuition kind of thing. But the Sun is the most positive card in the whole deck. This is a new beginning. Whenever I see a white horse, to me it is being on the path of your highest good. So this person is going to have like this rebirth. And what this connection is moving towards is a new passionate beginning. and the Four of Wands. This is the marriage card. It can be a divine marriage. This is often the 1111 card as well. So that may be relevant if you're twin flames. And to me, I always see this as a gateway. There's a brand new shift. You're both going to be moving through this new gateway. It's like you have this soul contract, and there's certain designations on the path that you're supposed to go through, or certain doorways you're both supposed to open. And this is, to me, saying that you're both going to reach a sense of balance in some kind of way, most likely energetically. And then you'll be moving to a new beginning, a passionate new beginning in some form in your connection very soon. So this person is becoming much more stable within themselves. This is showing that they will take action when the time is right, and it will lead to happiness. So let's pull some clarifiers. All of these message cards that we're using today are my own creation. So what is this Hanged Man about, please? What message do they have for you in regards to that? The Hanged Man. Okay, I feel insecure around you. So yeah, the insecurities have caused them to have doubts, caused them to not feel good enough, and that's really stalled them. That's really got them caught up in their head rather than taking action. It's like they've talked themselves out of taking action a lot of times in the past because of their insecurities. So this may be someone who was observing you from afar, or a secret admirer. They were withholding their feelings. So what's the Hermit about? Yeah, I will stay in control of this situation. This is the Five of Wands. So your connection really stirred up a lot of emotions, a lot of love, a lot of fears. I do feel as though this is a profound spiritual connection where it's created a lot of spiritual awakening within both of you. So that is the death of that ego, the illusions, the false self. And that is very difficult to go through because we spend most of our younger life especially identifying with that ego identity, which isn't the real us. The real self is the soul self. And so I feel as though this person has tried to stay in control because they felt out of control. They felt like they couldn't, control these feelings, this love for you, and it stirred up all this fear because of the ego death. It feels like a death of self. You have to go through a death in order to have that rebirth. You have to go through like all these layers of death in order to reach that twin flame union. And it's very scary, obviously, because we have this instinct to avoid like death at all costs, but it's like the death of the ego. And so this person's had a lot of inner conflict stirred up. They may have had fears about, wearing their heart on their sleeve and letting you know how they feel because they feel so deeply for you. They wanted to slow things down. They wanted to protect themselves so they didn't get hurt. And so this may come across as them being cold, distant, like the Hermit, being mysterious, all things like that. And then we have, there's too much to juggle. So this is the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, this person has had a lot on their plate. At some point they may have tried to, subconsciously it's like they've tried to hold on to two aspects of themselves that were in direct opposition. So this could be subconsciously trying to hold on to the ego, or trying to hold on to the comfort zone, or trying to hold on to a previous relationship, or anything that is no longer serving them, is no longer fully resonating. When we have an ego death, it's like we no longer resonate with the people around us, or the things that used to mean so much to us. So that starts falling away, and it creates a lot of fear, because it's a fear of the unknown. We're like, where am I going? Where is this transformation leading to and heading to? And when we don't consciously realize it's a spiritual awakening, it can feel extremely frightening. And so I feel like this person, they've tried to hang on to their old self or their old life for dear life, but then at the same time they've tried to hang on to you. They're afraid of losing you, and it's like all of this is like in direct opposition. So there may have been a lot of struggles with that. Please don't leave me. The 8 of Cups. So yeah, this person has fears of losing you, fears of you walking away. You may be like that hermit right now. You may be going inwards and trying to release this person, or release the attachment or the codependency, and they're feeling that absence from you, and it's making them panic. Okay, so what is this Ace of Wands about, please? Okay. We have, bear with me a minute. We have, you are my biggest wish. So this is the 9 of Cups. They feel deep fulfillment with you on so many levels. They feel like you bring them deep meaning. This connection connects them to the divine, to God, to their spirituality, to their soul self, to their truth. They feel heaven on earth. They feel like they're on cloud 9, and they have this hope, this dream. Their biggest goal and wish is to have this union with you. They may even literally have desires to marry you as well in the future. Okay, so what is this 4 of Wands about, please? Okay, these 2 want to come out. We reap what we sow. So this is saying that this person, that they're looking back and they realize that what is happening is a direct reflection of what they've put out. So if things are a bit of a mess right now, it's because they realize that they've created some kind of karma, and they're kind of getting back what they gave out, if that makes sense. And so they're having this realization that they have to put in the work if they're wanting this to work out. Even though that may seem obvious to you, to them, I feel like they're going through so much emotional turmoil. Their world's turned upside down. Their identities like been turned upside down as well. And so they were so distracted with all that, and that confusion and that fear and the love, and just feeling totally overwhelmed by all of those emotions, that they couldn't really see clearly. They couldn't like make balanced decisions at that time. We have, I will look after you. This is the Emperor. So this person, I do feel they're coming into much more confidence, much more stability. There is the 4 of Wands, and this is the number 4. 4 is about having that firm foundation within the self, so that you can have a firm foundation together in a relationship and actually be able to build upon that foundation. Okay, so what is the Sun card about, please? Okay, we have, please don't leave me out in the cold, the 5 of Pentacles. So again, they have these fears that you're leaving them, that you're moving on without them. They're feeling this coldness from you, perhaps. They're feeling like you are that hermit. They feel like they cannot get close to you, they cannot reach you at this time, and it may be because you are going in and you inwards, and you're re-evaluating what you want and what you need for yourself, you know, what's for your highest good. So next we're going to look into some more message cards. We're going to start off with the Our Eternal Love cards, and then we will move on to the I Love You to the Moon and Back cards. and then the messages from the Divine Masculine. And then we'll pull some messages out of the bag and look into the divination dice and the charms. Okay, so what messages does this person have for you at this time? We start off with, and this is meant to say, can we start all over again? So they want a renewal. I feel like they have had epiphanies with that Hanged Man and the Hermit. They are seeing things much more clearly. They've had the time and space to figure things out. Time has passed, so there has been more of that ego death and more of the awakening to soul truth. So they want this renewal in the relationship as well. They want a second chance, but they have fears because the next one is, there's too much water under the bridge. I don't know how we could ever come back from that. So they feel as though a lot of pain has happened, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of poor decisions or fear-based decisions were made, or maybe this person didn't make a decision, they stalled, they took too long, they've hurt you in certain ways. And you know, it could be vice versa as well. You may have hurt this person, you may have made this person feel heartbroken. So they want to start all over again, but they have fears that too much damage has been done. They fear that there couldn't be a repair of your relationship, or they're fearful that you may never forgive them. Yeah, we have, I don't deserve you. I regret many things from the past that I can't take back. So again, they feel lots of regrets. They feel as though they've hurt you. They feel like you deserve better than how they've behaved with you in the past. And now they're worried that it's too late, too little too late. Yeah, I've always struggled to feel good enough for you. So again, this is their insecurities, which created a lot of fear within themselves. They were kind of thinking, how can someone like you love someone like me? And so they didn't trust this connection. They subconsciously pushed you away. And look, oh my God, wow, these messages really coincide with each other really well. I'm embarrassed about my actions. I wouldn't be able to look you in the eyes. So yeah, again, they regret the past. They feel like they acted foolishly, or they feel like they took you for granted, or didn't take action soon enough with that Hanged Man. And they feel embarrassed. They may literally struggle to look you in the eye if they have like self-esteem issues as well. Yeah, there's divine timing. You have this soul contract with this person where you're supposed to learn and go through a lot of things together before union, because we both have so much to learn and heal before we can align. So yeah, this is very much a connection where you're both having an awakening. You're both waking up to your true selves, and that is when more harmony is coming into the connection. But that takes time. Yeah, again, we both have so much to learn and experience on other paths. We will always be connected though. So yeah, there's a sense that you both have this really deep connection. Many of you will be twin flames, if not very, very close soulmates, definitely from the same soul family member. So from the same soul, oh my God, same soul family, if not like the same actual soul. Yeah, but there's a sense that you both had to go down different paths at certain times. You may be on different paths right now in the 3D, but there's always this connection, and there is going to be an alignment at some point. I wouldn't suggest waiting around for that though. Many of you will unite in this lifetime, but some of you may not. So I would hate for you to like wait around and like place all your happiness on this connection, or place all your happiness on the future. You need to live in the present moment. Otherwise, you know, it's holding on too tightly, and that in itself is like an essence of codependency. And many of us have been through that, but that is actually preventing us from finding that inner peace and wholeness within, which is very important to achieve before a twin flame union can occur. Yeah, I didn't realize what I had until it was too late. So yeah, they feel like they took the connection for granted. They were so all over the place in the past. They couldn't see clearly. They didn't realize the significance of this connection, but there may have needed to be time and space in order for them to realize that. So, you know, that may have been part of the soul contract to help them awaken. Oh my God, I miss what we had in the past. I often reminisce about those times. So yeah, they definitely want a reconciliation. They miss you. They're thinking about you all the time. They're wanting to take things further. Okay, so we have, I was wearing a mask to keep you in my life. I didn't realize it was keeping us apart. So yeah, this person has definitely suffered with low self-esteem, or they just hadn't awakened to their true self, and so they were wearing some kind of mask. It could be like the ego identity, the false self, but I'm getting the impression here that in some ways they were trying to impress you, or they were trying to keep you holding on, and they felt like if they got close to you and was their true self, then you'd be disappointed in them in some way, or you'd realize that they couldn't give you what you wanted or needed, and so they may have donned that mask in order to keep you there. But they needed to be their true self. I feel like this one wants to come out. Yeah. You could crush me at any moment, so I've always been on guard. Okay. So yeah, they've tried to protect their heart. Intense fears of getting hurt, like very, very intense fears. And they could be very subconscious as well. If you shared many past lives together, there may have been a lot of pain that's happened in past lives, some rejection, abandonment. You couldn't be together in past lives for certain reasons. And so those fears have subconsciously like bled through into this lifetime. Wow. You just get the one off the floor. Oops. Okay, so this one's very significant because it fell on the floor. What do you think of me right now? So they're fearful that you see them in a bad light. They're fearful that they've let you down beyond repair. I feel like they've always worried excessively about what you think of them. And that's caused them to stall as well and wear that mask. I'm too asleep to resonate with a love so profound. So yeah, in the past, they hadn't awakened enough to be able to sustain, like, to be able to handle the intensity of the energies. It's like it was throwing them off center so much. That was creating a lot of pain within them as well. Spirit wants you to know that when they couldn't step forward, it was creating a lot of pain within them as well. Because they really wanted to, and maybe they tried in certain ways, but it was all too much for them, and they felt like they were hurting you. They felt like they were letting you down. They felt like they were letting themselves down, and then they were blaming themselves even more and feeling weak and feeling like they weren't good enough. And so it was all like a vicious cycle. But all of that was triggering them into deeper like awakening. We have, I am a mess. I don't even know how to love myself or have a healthy relationship. So yeah, they've needed to work on the relationship that they have with themselves before they can have a healthy relationship with you. Okay, so let's look into the I love you to the moon and back cards next. What messages do they have for you? We have, when you were so sure of me, I thought to myself, what have I done to earn this love? I've done very little. So yeah, when you were very sure of them, when you felt this deep intuition about them, they were thinking more logically. They were like, how can she or he love me when we hardly know each other? But you were just feeling this deep soul connection. But to them, it's like they had to awaken a lot more before they could fully trust their feelings and trust that it was their soul's intuition, their soul's truth. So initially they felt like you must be in love with some kind of fantasy that you've projected onto them. They felt like they hadn't actually done much at all in order to warrant you having such strong feelings for them. So they concluded that you must be hallucinating or something. And I feel like that's maybe why they were wearing a mask as well. They felt like you projected some fantasy onto them, so they tried to live up to that fantasy to keep you holding on. But they were sure that their real self would not live up to your expectations, and then you'd end up rejecting or leaving them or just forgetting all about them. You were so nice and trying to make up for my flaws by doing all of the work. You were enabling me to avoid my healing. So they realize how caring and nurturing you've been throughout this connection, and they really look up to you for that. They respect you for that, but at the same time, they were in a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity. You may have tried to help them become much more confident within themselves and become sure of your emotions. You may have tried to prove to them that your love was true and that you meant what you said and how you felt. But they were like the hanged man. They were on pause, and they had to have time and space to really go inwards and do their own inner work. We have, I don't know why, but I feel so nervous when you just look at me. I want to hide myself away. So they feel incredibly nervous, and it's because you can see right into their soul. You can see the aspects of themselves they may have spent their whole lifetime trying to hide, trying to change. So this is very much about them needing to have that self-love, because you love those aspects of themselves that they don't love about themselves. And in a way, they feel so connected and they feel so loved and nurtured by you because you love the parts of themselves that they struggle to accept and embrace within themselves. But at the same time, it scares the hell out of them because, they've spent so long trying to hide those parts. They feel ashamed of certain parts of themselves, and it may even be subconscious things. The kinds of things that they try to hide from other people, or if they have social anxiety, they're trying to hide that or something like that. And with you, it's their nervousness just comes right up into the forefront, and it creates this fight or flight. And a lot of them have struggled with that, and they've kind of run away and maybe even become avoidant of that kind of situation where they're going to feel that fight or flight in the first place. I was so scared you would reject the real me and leave me, so I put on a mask and felt like I could never take it off again. So there we go. There's another confirmation of that. And we met to hurt each other into awakening. I'm sorry it's such a harsh form of love. I wanted romantic bliss too. So yeah, there's been a lot of triggering in this connection, but a lot of it has been that soul contract. But again, you know, that's not an excuse to not put up healthy boundaries. You still need to have those healthy boundaries. You still need to love yourself enough to say no to certain things and draw the line when required. So let's look into the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. We have, I want to do things right. So yeah, they realize a lot of mistakes that they made in the past. They have regrets. They're sorry about hurting you, and now they want to do things the right way. So that is being their true, authentic self. For some, it could be that them communicating in the right way. I want out. So they're feeling stuck and bound, I feel, by their own insecurities and the dark night of the soul, and they want out of that. They want out of anything that isn't serving them, because they love this path. You have this very unique divine spiritual path, and they love it. It brings them so much meaning. They feel so heightened in their life, in this connection, and they feel that this is true love. So they're feeling that this is an unconditional love. Like, despite everything that's happened, they still love you, and they know that you still love them. And in that sense, it's unconditional. So yeah, look, we have, I'm finishing old cycles. So yeah, they're tired of the things that aren't serving them, the things that have been blocking them and blocking this connection. So they're finishing those old cycles. And we have I am the man. So they are feeling much more confident. This is the yellow. This is like that, or the sun that appeared in the tarot cards. The sun is the masculine energy. There was the Ace of Wands as well. So this person is going to take action because they feel more self-esteem, more confidence. That is what they are coming into. So let's pull some messages out of the bag next. We have lost without you. So yeah, they feel like they're just floating around and lost without you. Like their life doesn't have as much meaning without you. They feel like this is a divine path. They feel this soul calling. They feel this magnetic pull. They feel that soul contract, that certain things are supposed to continue to play out between you. And without that, it just feels wrong. Like things don't resonate with them without you in their life. Chasing drama. So I feel like this person, because they have low self-esteem, they've attracted a lot of drama in their life. But that is like part of their soul contract, to have a lot of triggering. Eventually, in order to help them know their own worth and know that they deserve better than those dramatic kind of situations, they're going to reach out to you. They want to do things right, communicate their truth. Yeah, taken for granted. So yeah, they realize that they took you for granted. I feel like they feared being taken for granted and you losing interest. In a way, when you were like chasing this person, their ego got caught up in feeling so validated by you that became addictive. So in a way, it felt better at that time for them to stay in their comfort zone, stay kind of at a distance, because then they felt like you would continue to chase them and validate them in all the ways where they weren't loving themselves. Astral connection. So you may be having dreams of each other, meeting in your dreams. You have this telepathic connection. It's very multi-dimensional, you know. This isn't just a 3D connection at all. It's like 5D and beyond, and you're connected always in like the astral plane. So let's look at the divination dice next. Yeah, this is like a potion. I always see it as like the love potion. They feel so intoxicated by this. They feel like they're on cloud nine, like it's heaven on earth. They feel totally, what's the word, besotted with you, hypnotized by you. And it's at times it scared the hell out of them, because they felt like they'd fallen hard for you, hard and fast, and they felt like if they didn't, you know, keep in control, then the rug could be pulled from beneath them at any moment. And you know how it is, like if something's going really well in your life, there's a part of you that wants to protect yourself, and you fear that that really good thing is gonna crumble, or you're gonna lose that thing, or it's gonna all go south, all go sour, fall apart. And so a part of you is always trying to prepare yourself for that. So you can't fully be in the present moment. You can't fully go with the flow or enjoy that, because there's a part of your mind that's always trying to prepare you for the worst. And I feel like this is what this person has struggled with, always preparing for the worst. So that's like holding on to dear life in terms of being resistant, having their guard up, because they're fearful of it falling apart if they just relax and go with the flow and allow it to happen. So yeah, a lot of fears coming up, basically. Thinking worst case scenarios. The moon energy and the stars. So the moon is like that shadow side. It's like the hermit going, and there's the shooting star there as well. The moon is going into the shadow side, healing the dark night of the soul. It's about awakening, because the moon, it's often about deception or self-deception. So that's like that false ego identity, the illusions, the conditioning. This is coming out of that. This is this person facing their fears and reaching out after a time of going inwards. The frog, so they feel as though they've not been your prince, they've been the frog. They feel like they haven't treated you well, and they do have regrets about that. There's the lyra here, the harp. So again, this always reminds me of heaven. Like they feel like they see you as like this goddess or this angel. They feel like this is a heavenly connection. They feel like it's heaven on earth. They feel so connected to the divine. And look, that's over the astral connection message. So you may be meeting a lot on that astral plane. So let's look into the charms. Okay. We have 2 rings here, 2 rainbows. Okay. We have shit happens and the toilet roll. So yeah, some mistakes have happened. It's got messy, but they're trying to clear up the mess now with the toilet paper. We have fuckboy repellent. So yeah, you may be pushing this person away. You may feel like they've played games with you. They've taken you for granted. So you're like trying to rid yourself of them or this toxicity from your life. You know, this was like the final straw. And now you're just living your life. And, you know, for some of you, this may actually be propelling this person forward into actually taking action and doing the right things, or doing things the right way. We have storms don't last forever, and the other rainbow as well. So this is the healing of the chakras. It could be to do with pride as well. It could be in the UK to do with the virus as well, because this is the sign of the NHS, and storms don't last forever. So it could be that that's creating a separation between you both right now with what's going on in the world. The 2 rings, so they want a deeper commitment. This is deep romantic feelings, the red heart ring. They want to take your connection forward. They feel like you have an infinite bond. They may even want to marry you in the future, because that Four of Wands card came out as well. Here's the headphones. So someone could be into music or related to music in some kind of way, or they wear their headphones a lot. Someone could be listening to good advice, whether that's from spirit, or they could be listening to audiobooks or things online that's helping them. There's the sewing machine, and it's called the singer because of singer sewing machines, but that could be related to the headphones as well, singer. But the sewing machine is saying they want to mend your connection. You know, sewing bonds fabrics together, so they feel like there's this bond, and they want to repair the connection, or they want to bind you like together in some kind of way. There's been an intense awakening within this person and within your connection with a hot air balloon. This represents ascension, both of you raising your vibration very intensely. If you would like to know very in depth how this person truly feels about you, please check out my Dear Beloved readings. Those are $11.11. They're not private personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck with channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. So when you order a reading, I choose a card for you, and I basically email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length in general. So those are the Dear Beloved message readings. Please check those out. All the details are below this video in the description box, and please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. It really helps me to continue to grow my channel. And if you do, then please tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading, which is about every other day. So thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. And now I'll move on to the next set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 2. You've chosen the Golden Sparkles. So this is a love message to you from your person. We're going to be looking into the tarot. Lots of messages cards today, as well as pulling messages out of the bag, looking into the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned, because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, so this person is thinking about you from afar, but there's a sense that there's fears, like they have to free themselves from something that's really blocking them in their life. Right now, they're not taking that leap of faith, but they're thinking about you all the time. For some, there could be physical distance. It could be that you're in lockdown. But more generally speaking, this is someone that is stuck in their circumstances in some kind of way, because one of these wands is bolted to the wall, but they're holding the other wand, so it's like holding on to the Ace of Wands. They want that passionate new beginning. They're daydreaming about it. They're fantasizing about you. They're fantasizing about you being together. But right now they're not taking that leap of faith. But don't lose heart, because the moon is saying that they are doing the shadow work. They are going to go down that path, that scary path of the unknown. They are going to face their fears at some point. And the Devil in reverse is more positive. It's saying that they're beginning to really realize and understand what has been holding them back, what's really kept them bound in a place of fear and struggle and wounds and blocks. In reverse, they're realizing those things, and realization is like the first step to freeing yourself from those limitations. And so right now there are certain circumstances where they feel like they cannot take action just yet, but nonetheless they're very bored, they're very unfulfilled and unhappy in their current circumstances. They're thinking about how can they be with you, how can they take that step, what do they have to do in their life to be able to pave the way to you being together. And so I feel this person is starting to realize, or they know the path that they have to go down. They may be, he's holding the globe here, so they may be planning their path, their plan of action, how they're going to, overcome these mountains, these difficulties, how they're going to face their fear, how they're going to come out of the tower, because this looks like they're kind of on a tower, in the tower, and this is like coming out of the tower and going down the path, facing their fears. So they know they have to go through some difficulties, some scary times, some upheaval. They may have to stand up to someone, they may have to speak their truth and have that kind of confrontation. The moon energy, the scary energy, go through the darkness before they can reach the sun, the light, the new dawn, the new beginning. And so the moon is really saying that they're having clarity about this situation. Like they couldn't see things clearly in the past, but they're beginning to. But again, this person may be a bit back and forth, like they're hearing the soul calling. They're making a final judgment on whatever it is they need to let go of. They're rising up. They're going to have a rebirth. They're going to be listening to the divine, listening to their intuition, which I feel is going to free them and allow them in their own time to come closer to you and pave the way to your relationship. They are freeing themselves, but it's going to be a struggle. It's not going to be like straightforward. I feel like there's going to be some back and forth energy. This person may be guilt tripped or just like overthinking things, having a head versus heart kind of battle going on. But ultimately they will free themselves. They'll make a final judgment. They'll make a decision. And it will be about freeing themselves and going down that path that they need to go down. So what is this Two of Wands about? We're going to clarify with these message cards. All of the message cards that I'm using today are my own creation. So we have, I'm in my man cave. So this can be man cave or woman cave. This is the Four of Swords. So yeah, right now they're kind of isolating themselves. And it's because they're trying to heal. It's like they know they have to let go of certain things or certain people. That is creating heartbreak within them. And it's a struggle for them to liberate themselves. But ultimately they will do that. I feel like they've already made the decision, but they've just got to take action on that decision now. They may be feeling heartbreak when it comes to you. There may have been something that's happened, like maybe it felt like there was a time where they could have taken that leap of faith with the Fool card, but then they didn't. They had that moment of fear and they stayed in their comfort zone. So now they're trying to heal from that heartbreak which that caused within both of you. Yeah, we have, how do we make positive change? This is the Wheel of Fortune. So positive change is happening. This person is having a realization that they're caught up in some kind of karmic wheel, some kind of karmic cycle, relationship, and they're trying to figure out how can they free themselves and go in this new direction in their life towards you ultimately as well. Yeah, I'm going for it. So that's amazing. There is the Fool in reverse, but then we have it upright as well. This is saying that right now they're not taking action. They're more in the planning stages. But when the time is right, once they've realized or figured out how to make this positive change, how to make this move, then they're going to go for it. But they're thinking, they're planning right now. Look, wow, we have, I'm hearing the calling, which is the Judgment card. So that's come out twice. They're feeling, or very soon they're feeling, that it is time for them to take that leap, take that action. And wow, we have the King of Swords. This is amazing. This is my truth. So they're going to speak their truth to anyone that they need to say goodbye to. They're going to speak their truth to you. and give you an explanation, maybe an apology. They're going to come forward following their heart. Okay, so what is this Moon card about, please? The Moon. Yeah, so right now it's too difficult for me to come forward. This is the Eight of Swords. They're in their thinking time, they're in their planning time. They've been feeling stuck, but this realization that they're going to have is that they're not truly stuck, but it's more about some kind of story that they've attached to their current circumstances, where they were telling themselves that they were stuck, but they're going to have this realization that they're not, and it was just a perception. So they're going to change their perception ultimately so that they can free themselves and come forward, because we have, let's start all over again, the Ace of Cups. They want this new beginning in love. They are going to speak their truth to you. They're going to express their feelings. They're going to take that action and make this relationship happen with you. Okay, so what is the Fool in reverse about, please? We have, I want to give you everything, the Six of Pentacles. So there may have been an imbalance of give and take between you both in the past, and it's because they felt stuck within themselves or within their life in some kind of way. They felt limited. They felt like they couldn't give back to you equally in the past, but they are going to take that leap of faith. They are going to come forward, express their truth, give you their heart with the Ace of Cups, and give you everything that you need and desire. But yeah, right now they're feeling very weighed down, but don't despair, because this is the Ten of Wands, and tens are about coming to the end of a cycle in order to have a new beginning. So the Ten of Wands is about carrying around those heavy burdens they've not been able to see clearly in the past because of having so much on their plate that they had to deal with, but they're soon going to be able to put those Ten of Wands down. That karma's going to be over. The Wheel of Fortune came out, so it's like new beginnings, getting off that karmic merry-go-round in order to have a new start. So the Judgment card, we have, I'm sorry I took you for granted. This is the Four of Cups. So yeah, they were so focused, or they just couldn't see clearly because they were so weighed down. They believed themselves to be stuck at some point, so they may have not even seriously considered having a relationship with you and ending something in the past, or leaving something in the past in order to have a new beginning with you. But now they are realizing that they missed out on some kind of opportunity. The time away from you has given them time and space to see things more clearly, and now they are sorry that they took you for granted. Yeah, we have, I'm totally broken. The Ten of Swords. So yeah, there was some kind of ending between both of you, and it made them feel really, really crushed, really, really heartbroken. They may, this may be their overall struggle. Like, they see themselves as a broken person. They see themselves as a failure, and this may be what they're trying to overcome and trying to release in order to have more self-confidence, in order to know their own worth, to be able to have a healthy relationship with you. And we have the King of Pentacles. I will be the best version of myself for you. So this is what they're working on. They are coming into that confidence, that self-mastery. So that's really positive. So what is the Devil in reverse about, please? We have, I'm so inspired by you. The Queen of Wands. So they see you as someone that really goes for what you want. You have a lot of goals, a lot of aspirations, and you really make those things happen. They see you as someone that's very powerful, and they are very inspired. They're starting to see how they've been very passive in their life. They've started to see how they may have seen themselves as a victim and therefore feeling weighed down and not taking any action, not making any change. But you've really inspired them, and now that is partly why they are going to be taking action and creating like massive shifts within themselves and within their life. Like, I'm working hard towards our future, the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, they are working hard. You've inspired them. They are trying to be the best version of themselves. You've helped them to believe in themselves more than they did in the past, and for that they're like really, really grateful. So let's look into more message cards. We're going to start off by looking at the Our Eternal Love cards. Then we'll move on to the I Love You to the Moon and Back. And then the messages from the Divine Masculine cards before we pull out messages from the bag. And then we'll be looking into the divination dice and the charms as well. So what messages does this person have for you right now? We have, you make me feel absolutely incredible. So yeah, just like I was saying, I feel as though your unconditional love for them has really helped them to love themselves more. You've really helped them with their self-esteem. You make them feel really amazing about themselves, and you've helped them to see themselves in a different light, which they really struggled with in the past. Like, I feel like they felt mediocre, they didn't feel special, they didn't feel important, and therefore that's why they kind of allowed a lot of toxicity to happen to them. You know, I'm not saying it was like their fault, but it's like they didn't know that they deserved better. You see deeply into me and it scares the hell out of me. So yeah, there's aspects of themselves that they've not been loving. And so I feel like they've tried to hide those parts of themselves or change those parts or just not think about those parts of themselves. But they really need to embrace who they are and love themselves exactly as they are right now. And they struggled doing that. And they love the fact that you really love the parts of themselves that they've struggled to. They really respect you for that. But at the same time, it's made them feel extremely intimidated because they have spent like most of their life trying to change those aspects of themselves or hide those away, you know. Yeah, look, I don't know why, but I've always based my self-worth on what you think of me. So you see deeply into them the parts of themselves that they feel ashamed of or they don't like about themselves. Even though those aspects may be beautiful things, it could be their vulnerability, it could be their empathic, kind, like sensitive nature or something like that. It could be anything. But it's like this person doesn't like value or those things within themselves, but you do. But yeah, they've had a lot of insecurities and they've always kind of based their self-worth on what you think of them, which is an issue because, you know, they feel like they could be totally crushed if things don't work out with you or if you start seeing them in a bad light. So I feel like it's kind of caused them to hide their true vulnerable self from you. Yeah, I grew up with bad role models. I have no clue how to love you like you deserve. So yeah, this person has a lot of childhood wounds. They could potentially be in a destructive relationship because it kind of mirrors the dysfunctional relationship that this person's parents had or something like that, or they just don't know how to have that healthy relationship because they never like witnessed that when they were growing up. We both have so much to learn and experience on our paths. We will always be connected though. So yeah, there's been time away from each other. You have been on your own individual paths. It's like a soul contract. You're supposed to learn and heal from things individually through other experiences before you could potentially end up together with this person. So anything that needs healing, I'm not trying to suggest that people need to be 100% healed or perfect. You can still have like healthy relationships, and because we're always like learning and evolving. We have, I'm too asleep to resonate with a love so profound. So yeah, this person was struggling with their awakening, and they literally couldn't have like such a profound, deep relationship in a healthy way with you because they still had a lot of conditioning, a lot of wounds to heal. They needed to wake up to their own worth as well. This is meant to say, can we start all over again? So they want a fresh start. They want a reconciliation. They're hoping that you would be up for like a second chance, giving them a second chance, or trying to start things all over again with them as well. Yeah, what do you think of me right now? So they are worried that there's been too much damage for a complete repair of the connection. Again, they base their sense of self-worth on what you think of them. So it's like obvious that they're still thinking, what do you think of me right now? Like they'll think it, they think that a lot. They overthink things. I miss what we had in the past. I often reminisce about those times. So yeah, they are thinking about you a lot. With that Two of Wands, it's like they feel unhappy in their current circumstances, but they're daydreaming, they're fantasizing, they're thinking about being with you in a way that could be an issue if they're like overthinking, over fantasizing, and subconsciously using that as a form of escapism, and a way to feel connected to you rather than like fully taking action. But I feel they will, when the time is right for them, when they feel ready, and when it is that divine timing, they will reach out to you. But don't wait around for that. I've been hinting to you about my feelings because I'm afraid I'll be rejected. Okay, so you've needed this person to just take action, be bold, express their truth, and they will. But in the past, they really struggled with that. They were really fearful of being heartbroken. And so they were hinting their feelings and like testing how you thought about them. Like, are you going to be open to me coming forward and my feelings for you or not? There's so much I want to express to you, but when it comes down to it, I always back out. So yeah, they've really struggled in taking that leap of faith and just saying it how it is, saying the truth. So they have been hinting for a long time, but now they're realizing, with that devil in reverse, they're realizing that that kind of hinting and not being direct is actually causing like the separation between you. They're having this realization that they need to like genuinely express their feelings directly. So let's look into the I love you, to the moon and back cards. What messages do they have for you? We have, do you love me, or are you just seeking my approval because of some childhood wound? Okay, so they've struggled to trust that you authentically love them for who they truly are. They may have low self-esteem to the point where they think, how can someone like you love someone like me? And therefore they distrust it. Or you may have had like an instant connection where you instantly felt this deep, profound love. Like, that you've known this person in past lives. You just felt this really strong sense of resonance and knowing this person. But they may have struggled with that. They may have distrusted like that. They may have tried to be more logical. or that was just how they naturally were initially, just more logical. So they weren't trusting like their intuition surrounding the connection, and therefore they felt like this is logical, and it's illogical that you have such intense feelings for them like very early on. And then it caused them to think maybe you were just projecting some kind of fantasy onto them that they couldn't live up to, or you'd be disappointed with the reality of who they are or something. I can't stop thinking about you. So they're thinking about you all the time. I feel like they're having like sleepless nights even. A lot of activities going on, a lot of awakening, a lot of thinking. Yeah, my ego got too caught up in you chasing me. So because they had low self-esteem, you chasing them was validating them over and over and over. And it's like they felt like they could stay in their comfort zone and you'd still chase them, you'd still validate them. And that was making them feel really good. But at the same time, they needed to just step out their comfort zone. But you know, they didn't have to risk any kind of rejection. They were already getting so much like validation from you chasing them and speaking to them and telling them how you feel, so they could still stay in the comfort zone and not be rejected whilst having all this attention on them. So that is why they weren't like making like moves towards you. I'm just not at the maturity level to give you what you need. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. Okay, so yeah, it may be a divine timing thing. For some, it could be like a few years may need to pass, even though you may not want to hear that. This person needs to awaken more, or they needed to, and they are beginning to see things much more clearly. We have, because the love was instant, I couldn't trust it. I wondered how much of me you actually love. So yeah, that is confirmation of what I said a few moments ago. I love how you make me feel like $1 million. I don't want to get close, shatter your dreams, and lose your adoration. So again, this person felt much more comfortable in you chasing them, you validating them, and them not having to risk rejection, and get real and make things real. Look. Again, be honest with yourself. Are you just in love with the fantasy? So yeah, they definitely felt like you had projected some fantasies onto them because the love was instant and they couldn't trust it. They were more in their logic. And then we have, I can't get you out of my head. So again, they're thinking about you all the time. Right, let's look at the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. Slow down. So yeah, I feel like you were trying to speed things up because you like full on like trusted the connection very early on. I'm not saying or implying that you didn't need to heal or awaken further, but they did. They really needed to awaken a lot more. Yeah. I don't feel good enough. That is at the core of why they've been distant or why they haven't taken action. Self-esteem issues. We have, how do I move forward? So yeah, they're planning how to get closer to you. I want you now. So yeah, they want that passionate new beginning with you. They're going to take that action. We have, let's run away together. So yeah, there's definitely some kind of issues they're trying to get away from, and they need to free themselves from. Let's look into the messages from the bag next. Yeah, heaven on earth. They feel absolutely amazing, on cloud 9, and that is because you have such a profound connection. It does go beyond this lifetime. and this dimension. So it's like a bridge to the divine, stuck in illusion. So yeah, like I said, they couldn't see things clearly. They're stuck in that illusion of not feeling good enough or not seeing themselves as good enough. Karma to settle. So yeah, they may be in a karmic relationship. Could also be there's karma between you both. A lot of triggering things needing to heal. You make them feel sexy, excited, alive. Again, they had that. You make me feel absolutely incredible. They feel like that heaven on earth with you. And we have rebel. So yeah, they rebelled against you. They rebelled against their feelings because it was all so intense. It, you know, it felt threatening. Like if they allowed themselves to just go with the flow and fall head over heels for you and just go with it, they feared like that rug could be pulled from beneath their feet at any moment. So they rebelled against the connection and their emotions and you. Let's look into the divination dice. Yeah, this is like the moon card. They are going to go down that path, the scary path of the unknown. They're going to face their fears. Whenever I see this, this reminds me of, even though it sounds really corny, a princess in the tower, and then the prince has to go down that path, fight the dragon, or they just have to come out of their tower and go down this path towards you. But I feel like they will. Yeah, there's going to be a rebirth with the Moses basket. They're going to free themselves from their cage and have a new beginning, a new start. Healing of the inner child. Fear. Whenever I see this, this just reminds me of them being with their friends. It's like they can't stop thinking about you, therefore they can't stop talking about you. They may have been like getting advice from their friends. They may have Dutch courage, or when they reach out to you, or you know that you may have met in a setting where alcohol was involved. But this is like a cup as well. Ace of Cups. They want to give you their heart. Yeah, they are going to speak their truth. There's the Ace of Wands here as well. They're going to take action. They're going to cut the ties to anything that isn't serving them so they can race forward. Yeah, and there's the death, like the death card here, the skull and the bone. That's transformation, ending of the old, beginning of the new. Scary, but it's going to happen. They're going to take that action. So let's look into the charms. Okay, so we have don't be a dick, and it's a heart. So this person, they do have love for you, but their fear has caused them to be a bit of a dick at times, which has made you slightly bitter, sour taste in your mouth with a lemon. But we have I love you to the moon and back. So the moon is about going inwards. It's about deception, about masks. So yeah, there's been difficulties between you both, but the love is unconditional. So it's like going to the moon energy. It's like you both looking inwards, healing, coming back to your true soul selves. And then we have to the moon and back, coming back to each other after the difficulties. So the rose, very heart-centered connection, unconditional divine love, heart awakening. They may come forward with an apology, with flowers, with roses. So I feel like there's been a pause with this wind-up key. Okay, that decided to fall over. And again. There's been a pause in your connection, but it's like they want to wind it up, or you may be feeling very wound up by them because you're like, you know how they feel about you. They're not taking action, or they're being a bit of a dick in certain ways. If you would like to really know how they truly feel about you in a really in-depth way, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11, but they aren't personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck where I channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. So when you book a reading, I pull out a card for you and I basically email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length. I have really amazing feedback on my website about those. So please check those out. They're the Dear Beloved message readings. The details are below this video in the description box. Please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading, and that helps my channel to keep growing as well. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. And now I'll move on to the next set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 3. You've chosen the honey. So this is your person's love message to you. We're going to be looking into the tarot. Lots of messages cards today, as well as pulling messages out of the bag and looking into the charms and the divination dice. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, this person is very, very afraid of getting hurt. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse, the Sun in reverse, the Tower, the Two of Wands. Sorry, the Two of Swords and the Ten of Wands. So they're very, very much in a place of fear. They're very much in a place of overthinking. The Sun in reverse is saying that there's amazing potential in this connection. You could have such a happy relationship and things can really progress and you can have an amazing connection together. But in the reverse position, it's like they cannot see like the positivity. They cannot be optimistic when they're overthinking things. They're very much in their mind. Ten of Swords in reverse is they're afraid of getting hurt, they're afraid of heartbreak, they're afraid of destruction, and therefore they're afraid to fully go with the flow. Some fear is really holding them back. They're having all this turbulence inside of themselves. They're very afraid of everything falling apart. They're afraid very much of getting hurt in certain ways. And so they're on the fence. They're like feeling pulled in two different directions. It's like they want to make things work with you. They do feel like there could potentially be an amazing relationship between you both and everything could blossom and be really happy and joyous. But right now they're feeling very scared, very threatened, you know, whether I feel it's mostly in their head. But Spirit is saying that there's certain aspects of you that reminds them of someone from their past who really hurt them. So it's like they're afraid to go with the flow. They're afraid to let you have their whole heart at this time. So they're holding back and they're like, it's a really heavy burden. They want to be able to open their heart and just go with the flow and allow you in and trust you and trust this connection. But there's something that keeps triggering them. So they keep constantly falling into uncertainty or doubt. And it's really creating a lot of turmoil within them. And it's creating turmoil within your connection. It may be causing a tower moment because they're not allowing you to get close. This is saying they're struggling to listen to their heart, struggling to listen to their intuition. Hands are crossed over the heart here. Swords are about mind and perception. They can't see clearly. They've got a blindfold on. This person is very much trying to protect themselves. There may be difficulties in your relationship when they're feeling like they're having to carry some of this burden, some of this weight, some of these difficulties. And they feel like until these difficulties can be put to one side, until there can be like full healing of whatever's triggering them, whatever's creating this fear, until that can be healed, they feel like they'll still be on the fence. Like they feel like they cannot fully open their heart to you until they know for sure that they're not going to get hurt. But I feel like this person, they may need to take a leap of faith, because this may not be a situation where they would ever like know for sure. Like relationships require a lot of trust. So let's pull some clarifying cards. All of my message cards here today are my own creation. So what is this Ten of Swords in reverse about, please? Interesting, we reap what we sow. So this is about karma. So this person may be trying to put their best foot forward in order to try and create a reflection of that in this connection. Or they may be trying to heal themselves within, because they know about the law of attraction, and so they're trying to attract amazing conclusion to this relationship. They want a happy relationship with you, so they're trying to heal themselves, hoping that this connection will reflect that healing. We have, you are my biggest wish. This is the Nine of Cups. So yeah, they do have goals, aspirations. They're wishing for a healing of this connection. They're wishing like things can change, transform, shift, so they can really have this dream come true of the happy ending between you both, the happy relationship. Okay, so what is the Sun in reverse about, please? Wow, this is good. We have harmony is coming back. So this is the Temperance card. This is saying that healing is going to occur in this relationship. This is what they're hoping for as well. But they're just trying to like see how it goes right now. They're testing the waters. They're seeing if the healing has occurred before fully allowing themselves to open their heart. But yeah, interestingly, we have the Tower. And this is the Tower card as well. It's all falling apart. So they don't want to invest in something that's just going to fall apart and make them feel complete destruction, complete heartbreak, get hurt. So these are their current doubts and fears. And I feel like that's blocking them. We have, I want you so badly. So yeah, there's this huge, like, just like the Two of Swords, these opposing energies within them. They want them so badly, they want you so badly, the Knight of Wands, but then they're so afraid and feel like there's certain aspects that are really triggering them, really worrying them. They're stuck in this anxiety. And so they are on the fence, or they could be hot and cold. One minute like they're happy, when they're trusting, and then when their fears are coming up, they're being distant again. So what is this Two of Swords about, please? Yeah. We have, I'm scared of the unknown, the Moon card. So yeah, they don't know what the future holds. They're lacking in faith a lot of the time, so they're scared, and that is why they're not taking action. It's like they're waiting for some kind of proof that they can open their heart, but I feel like they need to just open their heart and trust and see what happens, and accept that they could potentially get hurt, and they need to know that they'll be okay even if that happens, and then they'll be fearless. I see everything so clearly now, so that's really good. This is the High Priestess. They will see things clearly. They will be able to trust their intuition. But right now it's like they're in the stages of getting to that place to be able to trust. I want to be with you forever, the 10 of Cups. So this is their goal, this is their wish, their dream, to have the happy relationship, the family, the home, have it all with you, complete emotional fulfillment. I'm coming to you quickly. So I feel like they will make that decision. They will come to that conclusion. Something will make them have faith. Some kind of shift. Or they will just know that they have to just take a leap of faith and be like fearless, courageous, no matter what the future holds. So they are going to come forward. They are going to communicate with you. But they may have like a back and forth thing for a while. Yeah. I feel insecure around you. Queen of Swords. So there could be something to do with communication, or they feel confronted in some kind of way, in a way that they're not used to, or they may try and avoid confrontation. Whatever it is, they feel very insecure. It's triggering up a lot of insecurities, or they feel like the future of your relationship is insecure, and so they want that security in a way before they feel secure enough to take action and trust 100% and open their heart to you. But they're fighting for the connection. Knight of Swords. They're trying to fight to find this stability within themselves so they can be stable with you. And I'm eager to take action, the Page of Wands. So I feel like they're not fully taking action at this time. They want to, they're eager, they're sitting on the fence, they're being the observer at this time. So let's look at some more messages. And we're going to start off with the Our Eternal Love cards, and then we'll move on to the I Love You to the Moon and Back cards. Then the messages from the Divine Masculine, and after that I'll pull some messages out of the bag, look into the divination dice and the charms. So what further messages does this person have for you at this time? Yeah. This sums it up really well. You could crush me at any moment, so I've always been on guard. There's something here in your connection that's making them feel very unstable, very unsure, very uncertain and anxious. They're struggling to overcome this anxiety. Like they feel like something has to change. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I was wearing a mask to keep you in my life. I didn't realise it was keeping us apart. Okay, so this person, I feel like they've gone through a lot of anxiety, but they've tried to hide that from you. They've tried to make out like everything's fine. That's like their comfort zone, wearing that mask and making out like everything is fine, even though they're like dying inside of anxiety, has kept you together in some kind of way, kept the relationship ticking over, or the situationship ticking over in some kind of way. But deep down, it's like they're still on the fence and they're hiding these anxieties and these uncertainties from you. But you may be sensing that they're distant. You may be sensing that they're not trusting this connection, or they're not fully being open with you. And then I feel like it's contributing to like a vicious cycle, because when you feel like they're not being fully open, you cannot fully trust them, and maybe you're not fully being open with them, and then they're waiting for some kind of proof, or some sort of certainty that they're not going to get hurt, but then both of you may be hiding behind masks in certain ways. I didn't realize what I had until it was too late. So I feel like this is haunting them. Like, they want to be there for you, and they are in a certain way. They don't want to walk away, but they're still uncertain about getting too close. So, you know, they don't want to walk away and then regret doing that, and once it's too late. And so they're still kind of holding on to your connection, but they're still like uncertain. You were always my number one and always will be. So they could have fears that you're going to fall in love with someone else. They may have been cheated on or something in the past, and so they have fears of history repeating itself in this connection. But they definitely feel that you are the one for them as well. I'm always talking about you to my friends. So this person, they cannot stop thinking about you, and therefore they cannot stop talking about you when they're with their friends as well. I see them being like very enthusiastic, very animated, very excited when they're communicating to their friends about you. They love like the opportunity to be able to talk about you. I can't put my life on hold like this anymore. So they feel like there is a stagnation in your connection. They want to move things forward. They do realize that when they're on the fence, it is creating a pause. It is preventing a connection from deepening or developing further. But at the same time, they're still like struggling with those intense fears. We have, there's so much I want to express to you, but when it comes down to it, I always back out. So yeah, this person is withholding their emotions, or they're withholding their truth from you. You know, they may be withholding their anxieties and their fears. They're fearful how you may react to that, or, you know, they just have difficulties when it comes to expressing their feelings. That may be what's making them feel that sense of confrontation. They're just not used to being that transparent, but they need to be. All this confusion that they're going through and the fears. I am a mess. I don't even know how to love myself or have a healthy relationship. So yeah, they're suffering with self-esteem issues. They struggle to know their own worth. They're struggling with their own inner demons, fears, wounds, blocks. And so this is translating as them not being like fully available at this time to be able to have a healthy relationship with you until they cultivate that within themselves. Never doubt my love for you. I've always loved you, and I always will. So this isn't a case of unrequited love. You know, this isn't all in your head. This connection is real. Their love for you is real. It's just they're struggling a lot right now. Their fears are like really strong. But they're longing for you deeply. I can't bear this longing. They just want to be with you. Yeah, I can't handle such a deeply spiritual connection at this time. So this connection is really calling them to have faith. Despite all of their uncertainty, all of their doubts, all of their fears. And they feel like they cannot just take that leap of faith. They cannot just go with the flow right now. They feel like they can't handle not being in control, basically, not having that protective shield around them. So let's see what the I love you to the moon and back cards say. What messages do they have for you? I feel like you want me to be responsible for your happiness. Okay, so they may experience or see you as being unhappy. They may feel like you have expectations of them to make you happy, and they may feel pressured into changing or walking on eggshells or being a certain way to keep you happy. And then they may fear like losing themselves in the process. Losing themselves, I feel that is definitely one of their fears. But at the same time, we have, I can't imagine life without you. The thought of it sends me into a panic. So yeah, they don't want to lose you. They want to be with you. They want to be happy. But there's something that is creating so much uncertainty, or they feel as though they cannot proceed forward with you when that thing is still there that they feel needs to heal. You weren't accepting the real me, so I had to pretend to be someone you would love. Okay, so again, they may feel pressured in some kind of way to play a certain role or be a certain way or change themselves in some kind of way for you to accept them. But in the meantime, they feel like they're losing themselves, or they're feeling like it's a lot of pressure. I lied to you because I was scared of losing you, but had karma to settle elsewhere. So yeah, obviously this could imply that they were in a karmic relationship and they didn't tell you about it, but in many ways I feel like this is they're pretending to be happy or that everything's okay, but they're not really expressing their anxieties and their fears. They're trying to put on a brave face because they have this karma, they have these doubts they've got to settle like within themselves. Yeah. I really wish we could be together. Okay. So let's look at the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. Yeah, this karmic situation is busting my ass. So karma. Karma to settle elsewhere. Some kind of blocks, some kind of wounds, some kind of lesson to learn. That's what they're struggling with within their own mind. Definitely what's causing them to not fully be ready to, jump head first into your connection at this time. But they're finishing old cycles, which is good. Their blocks, they're releasing. Thank you. They want to thank you for being there, for being strong, for being their rock, for loving and nurturing them. This is true love. So they're seeing the difficulties in this relationship, but they feel like it's more of a mature relationship than what they've experienced before. They may have experienced other relationships where everything was kind of swept under the rug and things weren't ever discussed. Or difficulties, they turned a blind eye to the difficulties in previous relationships, or their partner did. And so there was a lot of things that were never said or never dealt with or never looked into. Whereas this person feels like there's a lot of obstacles in your connection, but they feel like ironically that is like a sign of it being a more genuine, real kind of love. I love this path. So yeah, they love this spiritual connection that they have with you. They feel like they're learning a lot, they're awakening a lot, and that brings them a lot of meaning. So let's look at some messages from the back. Astral connection. So you may be having dreams about each other. You meet in the dream space. You meet in the higher dimensions. You have a multi-dimensional connection. 5D telepathic bond. You make them feel sexy, excited, and alive. You make them feel like $1 million. This connection really lifts them up because it's so multi-dimensional. Rebel. So yeah, they're like trying to fight. They have a lot of like resistance to just going with the flow. And it's not because of unrequited love. It's because they just have these intense anxieties about getting hurt. Impossible. They may feel like the difficulties or whatever is triggering them, they may feel like it's impossible to heal that. They want to heal that. They're hoping to heal that, and they're kind of still waiting on the fence. They're still, open to this connection, but not fully. They're still waiting for whatever it is to heal. Shaking, sweaty, stuttering. So they feel very nervous by you. They feel very apprehensive about the connection at times. Fearful. Difficulties expressing themselves. You may make them feel very self-conscious, or you don't make them feel that way. They just feel that way in your presence. So let's look at the divination dice. Yeah. It's like a part of them feels like your connection is very nourishing. This is, to me, I always see this as like a bowl of rice. They see it as very nourishing, very warming, comforting, comfort food. They feel a certain sort of comfort with you in a certain way, but then it's just another part of them that's like feels the opposite. Here's the unicorn. So they feel that this connection is magical in certain ways. They feel like it's divine. They may like suspect that this connection is for their highest good, but then they're like doubting. Their mind's like, is it for my highest good though? Or, they may feel like there's like red flags on one side of things, but then there's like they're receiving divine guidance and like maybe number patterns or some kind of signs from the universe pulling you together, or there's a lot of serendipity between you both, but then they feel like there's red flags, and so they're like really confused. The monk, they are trying to go inwards. They are trying to listen to the divine. They're trying to get answers from the divine about what to do, what direction to go in. The hay wagon. So this always reminds me of the Knight of Pentacles, the slow mover. They're trying to create stability. They're trying to build slowly but surely, because they feel like they can test the waters if they move slowly. It may be a case of one person trying to move fast and the other like, whoa, feeling afraid of like diving headfirst into it. So they're slowing things down. This is like the tower, but to me it's like the two towers. It's like you're both behind the walls, comfort zone, or got your shields up in certain ways. One may be causing the other to put their wall up, and then that's making the other put the wall up, and it's like a vicious cycle. So let's see what the charms have to say. Two. So 2 is about harmony. There's potential for the 2 of Cups, the harmonious, happy relationship. Obviously, you could be seeing number patterns with 2 in. 2 of Wands, it's like a part of this person wants to embrace a passionate new beginning, but a part of them is like holding back. And the 2 of Swords, being in 2 minds. 2 of Pentacles, it's like they're still trying to juggle this connection. They're still trying to keep it going, keep it up in the air, but it's like they're still in 2 minds about things. Someone may be a bit of a coffee addict. Witch's brew, though, it's like they're trying to be that magician energy. They're trying to manifest harmony, a good blend. They feel like potentially you could blend well together, but all this triggering, you know, you could be twin flames. All this triggering, they may be seen as like red flags and signs that you're not meant to be together. The rainbow, the chakra stone, this could be to do with pride, but it's like healing on a deep energetic level, kundalini level, kundalini rising. Okay, I feel like this person's very cautious. Here's the umbrella. It's put away, but it's like they're holding on to this umbrella for any time the storm comes. So this reminds me of the 3 of Swords card with all the rain, the heart that's pierced by 3 swords. It's about heartbreak. So it's like they're carrying around this umbrella to shelter themselves from that heartbreak. But I feel like this is a divine connection. Obviously, don't ever put up with any abuse. You know, if this is resonating in the opposite kind of way and you're the person feeling all these fears and doubts and unsure. But this is an opal ring, and this is like, to me, the color of the divine, of the angels. There is a unconditional love here within your connection. So if you would like more clarity, if you want to really know how this person is truly feeling about you at this time, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11. That's US dollars. And it's not a personal reading, but basically I've created a really powerful oracle deck where I've channeled messages from the divine masculine collective. And when you book a reading, I basically pull a card for you and I email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length. I have amazing feedback for those readings on my website, so please check those out. All the details are below this video in the description box. Those are the Dear Beloved message readings. Please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. It really helps me to continue to grow my channel. And if you do, tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading, which is about every other day. So thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.